so no disguise. Every headline, I'm breaking it live. From the streets to the pressure up top. We see it all, yeah, we connect the dots. Weekly, right, yeah, we run it down. Truth hit different when they wear a crown. No fluff, no cap, just facts in sight. Welcome to the weekly rain report. Let's get into it tonight.
Disclaimer: this broadcast is intended for commentary, discussion, and entertainment purposes only. All topics and statements are based on publicly available information, including news reports, social media content, and third-party sources, which may include allegations or unverified claims. The views expressed are opinions and should not be interpreted as confirmed facts. This content is not intended to harm, defame, misrepresent any individual, organization, or entity. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome in, everybody, and happy Sunday. And I want to thank y'all for spending part of your day with me here on the Weekly Rain Report. If you're coming in live, make sure you hit that like button on your way through the door. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I want you to go ahead and do that too. And as always, I want you in the chat, in the conversation. Drop your thoughts in the chat if you agree with me, disagree with me, or you bring another perspective, because the purpose of this show isn't for everybody to leave thinking the exact same way that we came in, right? I do have some topics, not tough topics this week. Well, a couple. We got a lot of things going on that sparked my interest this week. A lot of things going on in Georgia. And then with the school year starting up, the new school year starting up this fall, this August, a lot of communities around my area and around the nation actually have already started school. And there's been a lot of things going on. So tonight, I'm going to start with school and campus safety after 2 violent incidents involving students this week. And that is on the K-12 level and on the college level as well. And policy and pressure, I'm going to head over to Tuskegee University, where new dress standards have stated a major conversation about professionalism, culture, and what colleges should expect from students. And then I want to compare the University of Michigan and Harvard, what they're doing with the grading system there. They're taking 2 different approaches when it comes to grades now. And they're going to start that, I believe, in the 2027 fall year. So we'll have to keep a watch on that and see how that changes. And then in Wellness Watch, I'm going to break down the changes to federal childhood vaccine recommendations and what parents actually need to know. And then I'm going to come right back to Georgia, where schools are now dealing with something that came out of the future, AI generated threats. And then I'm going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys in sports, where they're worth $15.5 billion, but it's been 30 years since they've gone to a Super Bowl. Or since they've brought them a championship in 30 years. So we got a serious conversation. We got some debates going on, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun before we're done. And maybe Souls can get on in here, because I know he's a Cowboys fan, so we can talk about this a little bit. So let's get into this. We're going to start over and Radar investigates for these school and campus safety breakdown. Oh, I got a couple of people in the chat. Oh, Miss Mighty. Hey, Miss Mighty. She said hey, Rain. Hey, how you doing, Miss Mighty, tonight? I'm glad you're in here. I want to go ahead and get started early because your girl needs a nap. I need a nap. Bad. It's been I've had a tough weekend. I've been under the weather a little bit, but I'm gonna keep rolling. And we're gonna keep pushing. So my first radar under Radar Investigates. Let me get that rolling. So we are starting today with something that has become too familiar. Students, they return to school. Families are getting back to their routines. And within days, we're once again talking about gunfire on school and college campuses. And I'm going to start right here in Georgia. Me and Souls touched on this last night on the Same Soil, Different Roots town hall that we had last night. If y'all have not done so already, make sure y'all go back and watch that episode. That was a great episode. We touched on Nola Wells, and we touched on these these campus threats, the violence at these school campuses and whatnot. So make sure y'all go back and check that out as well. So, like I said earlier, it's time to go back to school. August is the time when most of the United States, go back to the students return to school. Families are getting back in their routines, and within days, we're once again talking about gunfire on school and college campuses. And we're going to start right here in Georgia. On Wednesday afternoon, Warner Robins High School, that is in Middle Georgia for y'all who are not familiar with it. Middle Georgia, around Macon, Georgia. So right in the center of Georgia. Authorities say two ninth grade students got into an argument in a school bathroom. That argument became physical, and according to investigators, one of those students pulled out a gun and another student was wounded. Another student was wounded, and it was all over a vape, y'all. A vape. Me and Souls pulled that up last night on Same Soil. It was the argument became physical, and according to investigators, one of those students pulled out a gun and another student was wounded. A school resource officer responded quickly and used tourniquets until emergency medical personnel arrived. The injured student was transported to the hospital with injuries. Authorities described those injuries as non-life-threatening. The accused student, he is a 14-year-old, left the school but was taken into custody about an hour later, about a half a mile away. So he has since been denied bond and faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of a handgun by someone under 18, and possession of a gun in a school safety zone. So I do have a video as always, and this is the press conference from the sheriff's office. I'm gonna add that to the stage, and we're gonna listen in. Right, wait, just a little bit. We'll listen in.
Is everybody ready? All right, good evening. Thank you for joining us here at the Houston County Sheriff's Office in Warner Robins, Georgia. Today, a call that we train for every year happened to come to Houston County. We had a school shooting at the Warner Robins High School located at 401 South Davis Drive in Warner Robins, Georgia. The incident happened about 2:15 p.m. today inside one of the bathrooms inside the main campus of Warner Robins High School. What we know so far is there was a group of students inside the bathroom, and a verbal altercation took place between two of the students. That verbal altercation quickly escalated into a physical altercation, and at some point in time, a firearm was brandished by one of the students, and he shot another student and then fled the school on foot in an unknown direction. Our school resource deputy was on scene at the school and arrived at the injured student within seconds and quickly applied tourniquets to the injured part of his body. He stayed with him and rendered aid until emergency medical services arrived on scene. They loaded the student up, transported him to a local area hospital where he is currently undergoing treatment for a gunshot wound. Through the investigation and reviewing video, we were able to capture the suspect leaving the campus. And about 3:20 p.m. today, he was apprehended without further incident in the Huntington Hills neighborhood, which is across the street from Warner Robins High School, just probably less than a half a mile from the school. The suspect is a 14-year-old ninth grade student at Warner Robins High School, and the victim was also a ninth grade student at Warner Robins High School. From the sheriff's office, my perspective, I want to thank the Board of Education. I want to thank Dr. Wallace, the principal of Warner Robins High School. The school threat protocol and our training was followed perfectly today. And fortunately, what could have been a much worse incident was minimized to us only having one student injured. To our law enforcement and firefighter partners, the Warner Robins Police Department responded and assisted us in a tremendous way. The Georgia State Patrol was there on scene. Federal Bureau of Investigation responded. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation responded. We had members of the Bleckley County Sheriff's Office that responded to assist. The Houston County Fire Department and the Warner Robins Fire Department also responded and assisted us in this investigation today. No one agency can do this alone, and that partnership is strong here in Houston County, and for that I'm thankful. So from the Sheriff's Office to the family of the victim, our prayers are with you. We're with your family, and we hope that you recover and get back to school. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Rogers now. He's the superintendent for the Houston County School District.
Okay, we're not on. So he did give the update. So one thing that did stand out to me, that the emergency response worked. You know, the school went into lockdown. The law enforcement responded. A school resource officer immediately treated the injured student, and officials believe that preparation helped keep that, an already dangerous situation from becoming worse. So, and that matters. He said that our response worked. How do we get to the point though where a conflict between two ninth graders involved a firearm at all? That's the question. These are children. A disagreement in a school bathroom should never be something that potentially changes two young lives forever. And Warner Robins wasn't the only campus dealing with that this week. Early Saturday morning, there were 5 people wounded at Virginia State University. People say the incident happened near residence halls. One victim remained critically injured in the latest update, and one of the 5 people wounded was a Virginia State student, and that student was later released from the hospital. Police arrested 19-year-old Cameron Harris, who is not a Virginia State student. Authorities say he was found hiding inside a dormitory closet. He faces multiple felony charges, and investigators have not publicly announced a motive just yet. So let me get that pulled up for y'all. And then we'll listen in on that, and then we'll go ahead and move forward. Oh, that's moving fast. Add that back up there. There we go.
People have been shot outside of the university's residence halls. Officials there say all of those victims are being treated at local hospitals, and the school's lockdown protocols have now been lifted. ABC News investigative reporter Olivia Rubin joins me now with the latest on this. Olivia, what do we know right now about the shooting?
Gio, very little, but investigators are saying that this shooting unfolded around 1:30 in the morning. Specifically, officials saying that it occurred near the sort of quad area, and that when they responded, they found those 5 individuals shot outside of the residence halls. In terms of the conditions of those individuals, they say that 4 sustained non-life-threatening injuries. One of those individuals is in critical condition, Gio, but that lockdown on campus has now been lifted. That's what officials say, but that there is still an increased law enforcement presence around the campus while they process that scene. And of course, the big question here is going to be about a suspect and about motive. There's very little information on that. There are multiple law enforcement, different departments that are responding to this, including the ATF. Certainly, they're out there looking for whoever this individual or individuals might be. And again, stressing that the members of the community should remain vigilant right now, because as far as we know, there's been no information about any sort of suspect being taken into custody.
So that was the initial report, and they did have an update. So let's see.
Tonight we continue with breaking news. Police arresting a 19-year-old man following a shooting that injured 5 people at Virginia State University. One remains in critical condition. Cameron Harris of Henrico, who is not a student at the university, was found in Seward Hall hiding in a closet and then taken into custody. The shooting happened early Saturday morning at around 1:30. This was just outside the dorms. Now, one of the victims, a 20-year-old man, is a student at the university and has since been released from the hospital. The university lockdown was lifted right before 8:30. Student Miranda Mitchell was there when the shots rang out.
I started running. I ran by Whiting Hall and I ran to the back. I'm trying to look for my friends.
Now, Harris was taken to the Chesterfield County Jail, where he is now facing 8 felony warrants. He faces 4 counts of malicious wounding and 4 counts for use of a firearm and the commission of a felony. Police say additional charges may be filed, and Harris remains behind bars tonight without bond. And reaction continues to pour in from elected officials. Now facing 8 Chesterfield County Jail, where he is now facing 8 felony warrants. He faces 4 counts of malicious wounding and 4 counts for use of a firearm and the commission of a felony. Police say additional charges may be filed, and Harris remains behind bars tonight without bond. And reaction continues to pour in from elected officials. Senator Mark Warner sharing his reaction, saying in part, "I'm thinking of all who were injured and of the entire VSU community after this tragedy. It's devastating to see another Virginia campus harmed by gun violence," unquote. And we have this from Congresswoman Jim Kiggins saying in part, "My heart breaks for the victims of the senseless shooting at Virginia State University this morning." The Congresswoman goes on to say she is grateful to the first responders who worked quickly to secure the campus and provide care to those injured. We have more reaction over on wavy.com.
Okay, y'all. Wait a minute. We're gonna talk to Toupe and them in a minute. So yeah, y'all, this is crazy. It's a lot going on. So say it's been rough getting going late night. Yeah. Mighty said, why did they pick the one girl with the bonnet on her head? She wasn't a bonnet. It was a pixie cut, a red pixie cut. You want me to pull it back up, Mighty? So said young man too. Yeah, it's crazy how all this is going down. And it's within this week alone, it's so much that has happened all over. It's like, I'm wondering if it's the heat. I'm wondering because we got this heat wave going on. With the Warner Robins and Virginia State, those are 2 different cases, 2 different locations. Different circumstances. Of course, you got high school and you got college. Different people involved. Both bring us right back to the larger issue of safety. We talk about these flock cameras, period, metal detectors, resource officers, lockdown drills, security systems, emergency alerts. All of those things matter, but most of those systems help us respond once something has already started. Prevention requires something else. Y'all know that. It requires understanding how weapons are getting into these spaces as well. It requires recognizing when conflicts are escalating, and it requires when students feel comfortable telling an adult they know something isn't right. And our youth, these young adults, they need to do better. They really do. It's heartbreaking knowing that, you may send your child off to college, 18, 19 years old, and they might be part of these situations that happen. 5 people were shot by this young man, So for y'all that are in the chat, when we talk about school safety, where do you think more attention should go? Keeping weapons off of campus or addressing student conflicts earlier, or both? I think it would be tough to address students' conflicts earlier. And even if you do, I'm pretty sure a lot of these colleges, or all of these colleges, have a no weapons policy. So they're going to get them on campus regardless. They're going to see, because you can see in that Virginia State campus, it was gated. So somehow they're getting them on campus anyways. So it's tough either way it rolls. So if you have, if you're catching us on the rewatch, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit subscribe, and leave your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all this gun violence that's been going on with our youth and whatnot. And too, I will say this: if you, I'll drop the link in the comments later on. Go back. Me and Souls did a town hall last night on Same Soil, Different Roots, where we talked about some of these stories as well. The young man, the gentleman that was killed in Gaffney, South Carolina, when he was getting on the bus. And it's sad because this is our youth. This is our youth, So transitioning on to policy and pressure, when we talk about preparing our young people for the world, they're stepping into there's the world that they're stepping into. Safety is only part of that conversation, because colleges are also asking a very different question. What should we expect from our students once they get there? How should they dress? How should they perform academically? And how much should colleges challenge students versus just helping them adjust? And that's what I'm going to do over here in policy and pressure. And StreamYard acting funny on me tonight, y'all. Real funny. Don't do me, StreamYard. Don't do me. All right, y'all. So depending on which college campus you're standing on right now, the definition of standards may look completely different. So I'm going to start at Tuskegee University. And this has been a topic going around for the last couple of weeks now. So Tuskegee has, and as y'all know, Tuskegee is a HBCU, historically Black university or college. And it's updated its students' dress expectations. Students are not allowed to wear bonnets, do-rags, or bedroom shoes in classrooms or in the cafeteria. The policy also restricts certain revealing clothing in classrooms, dining facilities, and official university settings. Students are also expected to have appropriate professional clothing available for business meetings, interviews, and other professional occasions. Now, that's something that I agree with. That's something that I really agree with. Now, of course, this has started a huge conversation. One side, they've got people saying, good, college is preparing students for professional environments. And there's a time and place for everything. A classroom isn't your bedroom, and learning how to present yourself professionally is part of preparing for life after graduation, right? So Tuskegee President Mark Brown has explained that the goal isn't for students to walk around wearing business suits every day. Students can still go to class in everyday clothing. His larger argument is that students need opportunities to understand professional expectations before they're sitting across from an employer. So we're going to let Chris go because he's saying some things that I don't want to address. So I first learned about this over on the DPMO morning show with 2K and Kai. I watch them on a regular. They have a midday show Monday through Thursday. You can go check them out on their channel. They have some very interesting topics all the time. So we're going to pull them up and we're going to listen to what they have to say about the topics, about the topic of do-rags and bonnets. So let's listen in. Let's see. We're going to put it up like this. Let's listen in.
Oh Lord, I'm not freaking him, y'all. He ain't gonna be kissing on me. We just giving him a show. It's a show. I feel like.
Let me see if I think it's right. Here we go. I was right on it.
New marriage reform, bro. I guess this is a step in the right direction, but in return of it, we did have to take a hit, fellas. A HBCU Tuskegee University introduced a new dress code banning bonnets and do-rags. Students need to dress professionally, says university president. Okay, Tuskegee University has introduced a stricter campus rules prohibiting students from wearing bonnets, do-rags, bedroom shoes, and revealing clothes in the classroom, dining facilities, and official settings. So I guess with that being said, like they have taken away bonnets, but because of it, do-rags has to suffer. Kai, I do want to immediately go to you and ask you, how did this make you feel? Do you feel like this is professional, or do you feel like this is associated with race and race only?
No, I don't think it's associated with race at all. I feel like Jasmine, I was finna correct him. It's Tuskegee. 2K. It's okay. I let him ride. It was Tuskegee. But I'm upset because again, why are you guys showing up to class with bonnets, do-rags, shower shoes? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is a professional setting. Like, you're going to class, you're going to school, you're going to get an education, and you walking in here with a do-rag and a bonnet on. Like, I hate to see people in the grocery store and in public with this on. So yes, you at school. Like, what are you doing? So I have no issues with it. I'm glad that somebody is taking a stance, especially with these universities, because that's another thing. You see, and I never went to college physically. I wasn't on campus or on the quad, but I have definitely been on some campuses. I won't tell y'all my business, but I have definitely been on some campuses and up in the cafeterias, and they walk in there with any and everything. So campuses, yeah, I'm not mad.
Campuses and boat trips, guys. All right. So I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I hate it. I hate this. I hate this rule. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I don't think that it's about professionalism. I think it's about race.
Okay. Why do you think it's about race? Okay.
Because, like, if you see, you just cleared up a lot when you said you never physically went to college. If there's any place you are going to do these things at, it's going to be college. College is probably the most unprofessional place you can be. Like, you got the white girls and the little short shorts. They don't got no ass, but they got the shortest of the shorts on. You got people who's waking up out of their sleep, running to class, t-shirt, gym shorts, swim trunks. In college, don't nobody got their shit together.
No, that's true. But again, so, you have to think.
But what I'm saying, you can't say that this is about professionalism when everybody else is unprofessional. Now, I don't agree with the bonnets in the classroom. I feel like bonnets is strictly associated with sleep. But people go
to
huh?
But the do-rags is okay?
The do-rags, the do-rags was a fucking fashion statement for a long time.
It was a fashion statement for a long time. Why are we still wearing do-rags and bonnets outside, though? And then also, yeah,
a do-rag is no different than a hat.
Okay. But again, TSU is a HBCU, so how is this a race thing?
Because
I think it's...
You gotta follow the damn money. But okay, even if it's not a race thing, what they are trying to prove, what up, Courtney? What they trying to prove, it ain't it. Because you just can't stop it at do-rags and bonnets. If you are trying to set your children up for the future and helping that they be successful, everybody got to wear uniforms. People go to class in pajamas.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. That's college.
Wait a minute. How is that ridiculous? you telling me you're gonna show up to a job interview in your foot?
No, it's not a job interview though.
But again, it's somewhere you need to look presentable anytime you step out of the house. You don't know who you might run into.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, you never, it makes sense because you just said you never physically been on a college campus.
I've never physically, but I have been to college campuses and it's still unprofessional. Why am I walking in Professor Jones' class with my bonnet and my fuzzy slippers?
Is this professional?
That's ridiculous.
Let's say I woke up and I put on some blue jeans and a tall tee. Is that professional?
That's your outfit.
That's not professional though, right?
So you want us to be in suits and ties?
If it's gonna be professional, let it be professional.
I think you can be. So I understand these children, young adults are at these universities getting an education, in preparation for a career. College to me is like the first step. No, almost like a second step into becoming, because high school is getting you out there and ready, or getting you ready for it. And then college is getting you like ready, really ready to walk in that job's door. So there's got to be somewhere in between there where you don't even feel like it's like a point of decency. Like, would you even go to your McDonald's job with a bonnet on and some house slippers? You know, to me, it's like, it's a sense of decency when you go out. I know some people don't mind going to Walmart in their bonnets and pajama pants, or don't mind going to Walmart in their sweats and their wife beaters. You know that, but you're not this. You don't have to display your professionalism in Walmart. You're going there to shop, pick up a few things. But when you're talking about like an educational facility, you're going in there and you're going to learn to be a professional. I think there should be a standard there. I think there should be a standard there. So said, let me get on vertical. Monty said the world is falling apart, and she said, hey, souls. Soul says, I feel it does change the profit they making, and graduation numbers will improve. I feel it does change the profit they making, and will graduation numbers improve. Do you think it will? You think it will? The graduation numbers will improve if they set a standard on how they come to class? Mighty said, I'm one of those people. I don't care what you're wearing as long as you're doing the work and learning something. What does it matter? I don't know. I think there should be some sort of standard. In a sense, because you're preparing yourself for your 9 to 5. Your college is your work. That's your job for the time being, is going to school. So said, with work becoming remote, I feel this change is 6 years too late. Yeah, kids don't even dress up for interviews no more. They don't. They wouldn't do it. You know what? So they really wasn't dressing up for interviews. When we came out of high school, they were trying, but not as much as they were. So I said, I'm sorry, autocorrect, they both were questions. Oh, okay, let me go back to it now. If I feel it does change the profit they making. And will graduation numbers improve? I don't think it'll change. Like I think it's just a point of decency. Being out, and because you're out in public regardless. You know, your bonnet and your pajamas, that's for the house. So you're out in public. It would be different if they're sitting at home doing virtual school, but just going out in public is the thing. I don't think they have to be, unless the school has a strict uniform policy. I don't feel like they have to be like business casual every day, unless the school has always set that standard to business casual every day, unless it's like a top tier business school, Harvard or whoever, Ivy League school that sets a standard and has uniforms, all day, every day. But to come in and make minor policy changes like this, I feel is needed, in order to push a standard of decency. Okay, I already read that one. I'm sorry, y'all. Marty said these kids are out here going to job interviews in torn jeans and dirty shirts. Right. Marty said, Soul says, Marty, facts. Soul says, does it change profit for the colleges? Will it improve graduation rates? Oh, thank you, Soul. Because I wasn't fully comprehending. I don't think it'll change the profit for the college. I think it's just setting a standard. And will it improve graduate? It won't. I don't think that has anything to do with the graduation rates. It's just like a standard of decency, basically. Marty said, let me tell you through college, my favorite thing was some pajama pants and a t-shirt. I don't wear bonnets, but and some slides. I wanted to be comfortable while I sat there for hours. I get it. I get being comfortable. I get sweatpants and t-shirt and maybe some Crocs. I get the student athletes, walking around in their athletic gear. I get that much, but So said it's not about race, but it's one group it actually targets. We can't ignore it here if we don't want to ignore it in other topics. I get it, Toes. I get it. I did want to get to a phone call. I can't remember if it was 2K's brother or cousin who is a college professor who had a thought, who had a perspective on this as well. So I'm going to get a little bit further down into the conversation. And shout out again to the DPM on Morning Show. If y'all have not already done so, they have some great content over there. Go follow them. I'll try to listen to them a few times a week as well. Marty said, me and my pajamas graduated with a 3.9 GPA. I get it, brother. Oh, it was his brother. Okay. So let's listen in a little bit more. Hopefully I can get to the phone call before
let's not start the bullshitty ass stance here. If it's gonna be professional, let it be professional. All the way through and through. Like, you can't pick and choose. And I'm gonna tell you, the only reason they got do-rags on here is so the women want bullshit about the bunnettes, but it's not the same. It's not. So they even trying to soften the blow with adding do-rags. You ain't never ever heard nobody say, oh, y'all need to start wearing do-rags to the airport.
But I hate that. Why do you have a do-rag on out in public?
A do-rag is just a hat. I put on a hat when
I feel the same way about the do-rags as well. So I don't think do-rags should be worn out either. The purpose of a do-rag is to keep your waves rolling the way they should be rolling, while you sleep at night. So to me, a do-rag and a bonnet are equal.
When I need a haircut, you put on a do-rag when you need a haircut. You can wear a do-rag. Cal, you got on a hat right now.
I do, because my head is nappy right now.
Right. But you want to put on a bonnet because your head was nappy?
No, I would not. I don't feel like that's professional. I'm not getting on Beyonce internet with no bonnet on.
I hate when y'all say this Beyonce internet. Beyonce do not be on the fucking internet. She never been on the internet. She don't fuck with y'all on the internet. She don't like y'all on the internet. Stop saying Beyonce internet.
Okay, well, Kai's internet.
There you go.
Because I be on the internet.
Yeah, you be on the internet way more than Beyonce. That's a fact.
But again, I'm not like, why are we wearing our outside? Look, fact. Why are we wearing our inside clothes outside? You know how your mom used to tell you, don't come in my house and get on no beds with your outside clothes on.
Right.
Why are we wearing this stuff outside? We shouldn't be wearing this stuff. I hate when I go in the airport and somebody got on a bonnet, they got on pajama pants, they got on a damn do-rag. Because I feel like in the airport, it's millions of people. You don't know who you might walk into. You might walk into your next boss. You don't know.
I get that. But college is such a uniquely strange place. I feel like, that's probably the, and I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna hold y'all, like, all bullshit aside. That's why I dropped out of college. When I was going to Valley, I ain't get suspended out. I ain't flunk out or nothing. I left college because I had 3 pair of pants and 2 shirts. I swear to God, never forget. My grandma, she gave my mama the JC Penney card because I couldn't even afford shit. And all about Arizona. I think that's when JC Penney was selling Arizona. I had 3 pair of Arizona shorts and 2 pants, and I had a pack of white tees. Bro, that's all I had. So I'm in this motherfucker, bro. Like, I knew what and how hard it was to try to dress up in a college setting. So when I used to see people like, damn, cuz you not dressed up every day, cuz got on basketball shorts, flip-flop, Crocs. She over there, she got on some little ass shorts that's inappropriate, but hey, I get it. It was just a uniquely strange place. It's like, cuz we trying to get it together and become adults. But I can't dress up every fucking day because I might have a class at 8. I only got one for another 3 hours. I supposed to be dressed up all this time. So I understand college, bro. Like, there's a place to do this. Like, you're not gonna be more professional or less professional about what you're doing in college.
Yeah, but like what Russian Roulette Network said, how you carry yourself in college structures you for the real
No,
world.
the fuck you don't.
How?
No, the fuck you don't.
Martin Luther King to put on your suit and your tie, but at least come outside.
They be having some great conversations.
Halfway decent. You don't have to come outside with a button. That's just like I hate when they come to stores with their buttons on. They just you look nasty. You look sloppy. You look like you ain't got shit going on.
Yeah, I get it, kind of like I ain't all the way opposed to it. I just don't think if it's in the name of professionalism, nigga, you will literally have to change everything about college. I'm looking for a picture right now of me in college, and I'm gonna show you how I used to dress going to the classroom. I'm tank top, basketball.
Let's see, y'all. Hold on.
I want to disagree with you because even though you're I think I'm saying right, prerequisite classes, they might not prepare you. But once you get into classes that are more catered,
I think that's what we could.
Slip it to these basketball shorts and got the.
Hold on, y'all.
Call in, bro.
All right, appreciate you.
All right.
Okay. Right. I think presentability is the key. Like
versus the bonded situation, the reason a strict code and you on that part.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
All right, man.
And then you also have to think when you get up at the beginning and you put clothes on, you go outside your door. You have to think.
Hello.
What's the word, big dog? It's Courtney.
What's happening with it, dog? How you feeling, bro?
I'm chilling. So I was just listening in on the topic at hand. And so as a person who went to college myself, I 110% agree with you in this aspect because college is not setting you up for professionalism at all. Now, there are one-offs where you have some teachers, like the young lady before who called, she said that there are some classes where they enforce that. However, in general, most colleges aren't enforcing a strict code. And across the board, most people aren't trying to dress up for a job opportunity. A lot of them just trying to figure it out. Most of them don't even know what they're going to do in college. So they're not setting themselves up for anything, to be honest. And a lot of times, they don't start focusing on their career until maybe their senior year when they realize they're about to graduate. And college is about to be over when they got to start taking their life serious. So
that's a uniquely weird time, bro, because you're trying to figure it out. You're going through life every day and you got to like be in these classes. Bro, you're not putting on no fucking clothes every day, not in college.
And they don't, my bad.
Now, you good. It's extremely limited resources. You don't even know what you're going to eat that night if you miss the calf.
Let me see if I can find that. Is that it?
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like,
okay, see, you was there for one day, a special event, and that's why
I was not there for 1 day.
Kenny, what's up, bro?
All right, so everybody keeps saying, first of all, everybody keeps talking about they went to college. This is not a normal college. This is a private HBCU that we're talking about. Okay. And I haven't seen nobody say they went to a private HBCU. I went to a private HBCU. Them people expect you to carry yourself a certain type of way to a certain extent. You're not showing up to class with no bonnets and sleeping pants on. You're not going to be inside no building with a hat on. Those people have a certain standard. And this whole idea of college doesn't set you up for your life. I mean, it doesn't set you up for like the real world. How doesn't it set you up? How doesn't it set you up for the real world? You learn how to network in college. You go to an internship in college. You go to college to figure out what you're trying to do in your life. No, that's all part of structuring your life. Like,
bro, it's so many people that didn't go to college that do all that shit too, Kenny. That's not college ain't doing it.
Okay. Yes, it does.
No, it don't.
You don't. How does
the conversation is getting kind of long, so I don't want to move on because I don't want to be here all evening. But with that being said, he does have a brother who is a college professor that said that, if I'm not mistaken, said that he did not mind his students coming to class with bonnets on as long as they did the work. If I'm not mistaken, if we revisit this again, I'll try to be more precise with that. But I'm gonna get to some of these comments and shout out again to 2K and Kyle on the DPM on Morning Show. Y'all make sure y'all follow them, and because they have some great content over there as well. So I'm gonna get to some of these comments right quick before I move on. Uncle Plug, welcome in, Uncle Plug. They said in school they are teaching you to be a professional, not to be comfortable. I agree. So said they need to ban hoodies with certain temperatures, especially due to all the shooting. I think so too. I saw 3 young adults, young kids. I'm gonna say kids because they had to be younger than 18. go into Dollar General the other day with bubble coats on. I knew exactly what was going down because it's 108 degrees out here, the heat index. What are you doing with a bubble coat on? One, you either carrying, or two, you about to do something you don't need to be doing. Hey, I-90, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. He said, yes, then PJ pants have to go. Soul said, to be honest, I feel a lot of this is to protect the undisciplined teachers. With all the unprofessional relationships, the less revealing, the better chance of less inappropriate behavior. I-90 said there's a bonnet and PJ epidemic going on. You know what, Soul, though? I agree. He said it's also been a requirement. They just enforcing it now. Oh, okay. Mighty said, why don't they just ban all the clothes? Just leave everybody naked, because everybody banned and want to ban everything. Let people have their own personality. All right, Mighty said we're gonna be walking around here naked. No, we're not gonna do that. So critics have said that specifically identifying bonnets and do-rags, especially at HBCUs, create a conversation about cultural expression and respectability politics. You know, they asked, why are these items that are strongly associated with Black culture automatically being placed in a category of unprofessional? But we've discussed that. It's inside clothes. So I can understand when you're interviewing for a job, dress for the interview. I can understand saying, hey, when you're representing the university professionally, there are expectations. And I can even understand having certain standards inside the classroom. So I don't know how much authority a university should have over how adults who are paying to attend that university present themselves. So now I want to go on from how a student dresses to how grades are graded. So beginning in the fall of 27, so that's next fall, first-year students enrolled in the University of Michigan College of Literature, Science, and Arts will have their first semester grades recorded externally as pass or no credit. So Michigan they're not eliminating the grades. Students will still receive grades. Professionals will still evaluate their work. Students will still receive feedback, and the university will still keep those grades internally. The difference is that the first semester letter grades will not appear on the student's external transcript and will not count towards the student's GPA. Traditional grading resumes beginning with the student's it'll resume with beginning with the student's second semester. I don't know how fair that is. Unless, now, you know, with most colleges and universities, you have this intro class to get you familiar with their onboarding and their Blackboard or whatever they use for like their classroom settings. And then you also have like your ethics and your college rules and what your expectations and how you should structure your reports and all that before you turn them in. They have those classes as well, and I forget exactly what they're called. And I can understand that be a pass or no pass credit type deal. But as far as like a core class, like math class or a science or even like your social studies or history or literature class, if in my first semester attending your college, and I tell you what, if this is a pass or no pass type class, don't charge me for it. My first semester, if you're not going to charge me for it and it's not going to be on my transcript, don't charge me for it. That's how I feel. Don't charge me for it. You cannot, if you're not going to officially record this class, if it's not gonna point towards my GPA or go towards my GPA, you cannot charge me for it. Like an orientation class, you can't charge me for it. So let me pull that up and we'll listen in to what they're talking about over in Michigan. Let me see. Michigan, Harvard, North Georgia. Where's Michigan at? I had Michigan on here, y'all. And we're gonna talk about Harvard too, because Harvard doing some of the same things, and I'm not agreeing with that either. Hold on, y'all, because I don't have Michigan up here. Here it goes. It's a short, so let me pull this up. I don't like when it looks like that. Does that make it better? Probably not. We're going to listen in. I don't like doing shorts, but we'll listen in.
Of Michigan is announcing a new pilot program for some incoming freshmen next year. The school says in the fall of 2027, it will not offer grades for thousands of first semester freshmen. Incoming students in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts, they'll receive a pass or no credit instead of letter grades for the fall. Now, the school says it's doing this to help students acclimate to the demands of college life and, quote, curb the mental health crisis unfolding among college-age individuals.
Wait, so that's what they're doing? They're doing this to help curb the mental health crisis that's unfolding for college-age students? That's their...
So
I don't like it.
Thank you, Gal. All right.
I think it's a good idea. It helps people kind of ease into college, but I don't like the no credit. Pass or no credit. Let's just say fail. Like, we don't have to be that gentle.
Yeah, I don't love this. MIT has done this for years at this point, but I just feel like we shouldn't be easing people into this. Like, provide the resources, the tutoring, but they're going to have to go out and deal with getting a job.
They'll do that the second semester freshman year. A lot of people struggle if they're not really prepared for college.
I don't know.
Well,
I think
maybe they should take
in.
what they call a gap year until they're ready. I just think there's something about having grades.
Right. There's stakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
you gotta instead of partying, you gotta go to a class.
Yeah.
Kelly, you partied.
Oh, come on. The Harry Potter nerd. Come on. The University of Michigan.
So what do y'all think about that? Let me see if I see another right quick while I got y'all. This one's a little bit more detailed. We'll listen at
one of the country's largest public universities will soon be doing away with letter grades for some freshmen to protect their mental health.
They need time to figure things out.
Beginning next fall, instead of getting an A, B, C, or D, some first semester freshmen at the University of Michigan will get only a pass or no credit, and neither designation will count toward their GPA. The university says this will allow students to explore a subject that may not come easily to them, or take a course in a new field without the fear that a low grade may have long-term consequences.
I showed up wanting to study chemical engineering. I bombed all of my first year classes. And soon discovered that chemical engineering was not for me.
The school says the goal is to help students start strong and curb the mental health crisis unfolding among college-aged individuals. Critics say the university is coddling students. One education policy expert saying swaddling college students does not actually improve their mental health. It creates entitlement. Others disagree.
That kind of sink or swim argument about higher education simply doesn't hold water. Higher education should be a pathway for upward mobility for all who enter through this university's doors.
Michigan isn't the only school system rethinking what's healthy for students. In Los Angeles, the nation's second largest school district is rolling out some of the strictest limits on screen time in the country as students head back to class today. The new rules call for no screen time at all until second grade. Second and third graders get 20 minutes a day. Fourth and fifth graders get 30. Middle schoolers will soon be limited to 1 hour per class per week. High schoolers, a half hour more than that. Some teachers are pushing back, saying kids need to learn to use their devices responsibly. Others worry the limits will hurt students who don't have computers at home. One of the country's...
Well, that's another topic as well, too. You know, they preach about screen time all the time, right? About how much screen time the kids should have. But if they're letting the children have these Chromebooks and doing all these lessons on the Chromebooks, isn't that screen time? Isn't that screen time? I would think it is. I would think it is. I'll get to some of these chats. So said it's a money grab. It will keep those who normally drop out due to their grades to hold on to invisible hope. College grift. So said college gets paid off of enrollments. So said, see, I never even knew about this part. I know, right? So when you told me about the grades, I started looking into it and I said, oh, look at this. Look at what missions is doing. So said military does this call wash out and put you in a lower requirement field. Numbers equal dollars. Oh, when you were talking about him where he failed his he wanted to be in a chemist. Isn't that what he wanted to be? The gentleman on the thing. Maddie said, I'm not paying for school. It's not grinding my work accordingly. Maddie said, if you want to cut screen time, start giving the kids work in paper and providing actual books and teaching actual lessons. I think a lot of these teachers, a lot of the newer age teachers as well, they and we can get into this on the next weekly rain report too. I think a lot of the new age teachers depend on the Chromebooks a lot instead of being hands-on and teaching them on the board where they can see. I'm a visual person. In order for me to learn something, I learn by repetition, and I learn actually seeing it being done and doing. I learn more so doing it. Once I see it being done, and I have to do it myself, and then if I have to explain something to somebody too, I have to do it while I'm explaining it. I can't. It's hard for me to explain it and not see the process, if that makes sense. So I feel for some students out there who are just like me, who are visual learners, who can't just look at the screen and watch something happen. Just like I go to YouTube University all the time when it comes to like Excel formulas and doing pivot charts and stuff like that in Excel. And it's hard, learning those formulas and trying to memorize those formulas and whatnot. And thankfully, I have dual monitors here and at work. I'll have YouTube University on one side, and the other side, I got my other monitor, and I will go step by step. I'll watch it, and then I'll come back and go step by step the whole process. I'm a visual learner, and I learn with repetition too as well. So I know it's tough for those kids who are out there that are people who are like me, who need that visual actual learning, the actual on-hand learning rather than somebody preaching at you through the screen, So it says they trying to parent the kids whose parents don't pay attention to their kids. Education screen time is different than Cardi B. You're right. So I get your point. Uncle Plug said enrollment and tuition. So it says, so moms, do y'all want them to adjust to the times or force old school ways? So I would rather have on-hand education than them looking at a screen all day long. I really would. Or if they do implement the on-screen type learning, I would rather it be like more so for test and for, say, hey, okay, I've showed you how to do it over here by hand. Then let the computer or the AI or whatever it may be show them how to do it on the computer. I don't want to take technology away from them. No, that's one thing that I have not. I myself have not evolved with technology over these last years. Being at the position that I'm in, technology has went like this, and my job when it comes to technology has stayed level. So I'm actually behind the learning curve myself when it comes to technology, because some of this new stuff that's coming out that I have I feel like I'm still in the flip phone era versus all this other technology that has come out so far. So I've got to become abreast to some of these new things that are coming out. So I still would like for, students to have hands-on, eyes on the teacher type learning as well. Handwritten learning, but I also won't shy away from screen time learning, as long as it's down to a minimum per class or per subject, I would say. So it said, remember, 568% of teachers now aren't truly teachers. I know souls. That's crazy. That is beyond crazy. Mighty said, enforce old school ways because actually I learned something in school. These kids aren't learning anything. Mighty said they have a class or computer skills and take their test on the computer so they can't cheat and be done with the screens. Yeah. Might as well spell check keep failing me. So said, good question. Let them learn the new, but teaching them the old at home is not a mom though. I taught my son subtraction, borrowing. He did when I said borrow, I said, Bub, you gotta borrow. You gotta go over here and borrow. And he's like, Mama, I don't know what you're talking about. When he showed me how he did it, I said, let me show you something. And he said, your way is so much easier. I said, I know. So I don't understand why too the things that have been working for so long are now changing. For what? We learned how to borrow for the last however many years we've been borrowing. Why would you change it when it still works, with subtraction and whatnot? So, and then he didn't have a tough time with factors and whatnot, fractions and whatnot, but yet learning how to borrow was the big deal on our end. So says, is education actually just destroying parenting? Think about what you're teaching to actually push up against the system within college. Is education actually destroying parenting? Think about what you teach and actually push against the system, which then causes confusion. I get that part too, but I didn't want him to struggle either. So I get what you're saying. Because he was having difficulty, and I didn't know the way the school was teaching. When he showed me, he's like, Mommy, you do it like this. I said, no, that's not the right answer. Maybe I should have gotten with the teacher at that time and say, hey, how do y'all do this? But I showed him the borrow method, and he got it from there. I mean, I wasn't trying to push back against it, but I really wanted him to understand the same way I understood it, So, but we're gonna move on because I got one more segment here, and we're gonna talk about Harvard. Harvard is looking at grading, and apparently said we don't need less pressure, we need fewer A's. That's what Harvard is saying. They need fewer A's. So Harvard faculty voted to approve a new grading policy that is also expected to begin in fall of 2027. And I am not a fan of this. I'm gonna let y'all know now. Under that plan, straight A grades will generally be limited to 20% of students in a course, plus 4 additional students. There is no cap on A minuses though. And Harvard says it has a reason for doing this: grade inflation. According to the university, flat A's had grown to roughly 2/3 of letter grades, while the median graduating GPA climbed significantly over the past 15 years. So Harvard is essentially asking, is nearly everybody getting the highest grade, or does the highest grade still represent exceptional performance? So let me pull up the Harvard clip, and we're going to talk about it from there. Let's see. Because I do not agree with this Harvard clip at all. Hang on, y'all. Let me get it pulled up. Where did it go? I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. YouTube changed some settings or something, because I've been having a fine with my stuff. There we go.
Just voted to limit A grades in an effort to curb grade inflation, which professors argue devalues degrees and academic achievement. I want to bring in CBS News correspondent Chanel Call with more on this. Chanel, explain how this shift in grading is going to work here.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a huge and significant change at one of America's most prestigious
Y'all listen in
institutions,
too.
Harvard University. Look, hundreds of faculty members were involved in this decision. So let's break down how this happened. 458 of them voted in favor, and then 201 voted against this move. What is this? Well, it's a move to limit the number of A's that those professors can give out to undergraduate students. And important to make that note here, this only applies to the undergraduate student population.
Only applies to undergraduate students, first of all. And then secondly, they're limiting the number of A's that they can give out. Okay.
Population, and that would be limited to 20%. On top of that 20%, 4 additional A's would also be allowed. So let me help you understand how this would work. If you look at a class of, say, 100 students, the maximum amount of A's that professors could give out to those 100 students would be 24. Why did this happen? Why are we seeing this?
But let's listen at the verbiage she's using. She said A's given out to students. I thought we're in class to earn our grades. So what are we really doing here? Words matter, right?
Huge seismic change in grading. Well, grades at Harvard, and other universities as well and colleges across the country have been ticking up in the last couple of decades. And experts are saying, as you noted, it sort of reduces the value of that grade. And we learn more about the incentive behind this for the institution by the subcommittee, the grading subcommittee at Harvard, who actually put this proposal forward, Liz. They sent out a statement that says, for decades, grade inflation has been a collective action problem. Everyone saw it, but no one faculty member could fix it alone. The faculty have now taken a major step to fix it together. We also heard today from Amanda Claybaugh. She's the Dean of Undergraduate Education. She released a statement in the wake of this big vote saying, this is a consequential vote. It will, I believe, strengthen the academic culture of Harvard. It will also, I hope, encourage other institutions to confront similar questions with the same level of rigor and courage. Now, there is another side to this. We just moments ago got a statement from the co-presidents of the Harvard University Association. So they are representing students here. And they said, quote, although we recognize the issue with the status quo, we are disappointed that student voices have not been centered throughout the decision-making process. However, we will continue to fight for students' academic interests over the coming year about how we can best prepare students before this comes into effect. And I should note that new grading policy will take effect during the fall 2027 academic year. Liz?
Grade inflation or not, if I got an A at Harvard, I think I would put it in a frame and put it on my wall. I'd be very proud of that A.
Exactly. So what I'm asking is, say, for instance, I'm that 25th student in that classroom that has earned an A. Are you not going to let me have what I earned? I don't know if I'm not understanding it correctly. Y'all let me know. But I understand they want to put a cap on how many A's are given. But what if out of 100 students, you have 30 students who actually earned an A? What are those percentages? I guess you would have to look and see what the percentages. I mean, are they not, because the grades are trending upward? Are they not? Are we not getting smarter? I mean, what's really going on? I don't know if I'm understanding it correctly, but that's the way I feel about it. Well, I'm gonna get to some of these chats. Soul says, great discussion, piece seriously. Thank you, Soul. I appreciate that. Mighty said, parents have to help their children learn. It's not up to just the teachers. I agree. But Mighty, now we do have some of those parents who cannot help their children because of their educational level that they had as well. So we got to look at that side too, Supermax says, sup, plug TV in the building, respect. Oh, he says, sup, okay. Hey, Supermax, appreciate you being here. Hey, Tristan, appreciate you being here. Soul said, this is just showing us that education is not important. So talk to me. If you want to come up, let me know. Supermax said, right as rain. Thank you, Supermax. Appreciate you. Soul said, as I mentioned earlier in content, we don't need school after 8th grade. Yes. And you know what? When I was looking for 2K, the DPMO's segment, because I couldn't remember which segment it was or which show it was on. They went over that as well. K through 8th grade. After 8th grade, unless you're gonna be in chemistry or a doctor or some specialized school for that, or for those type of that industry, especially for those people who are in trade. Now, I'm gonna tell you this too: trades. Okay, encourage those children who do not want to go the traditional route of being in business, as far as like corporate world type deal, as far as like finances, as far as like I don't know. I can't tell you the other, like architecture and finance and business and management and things of that nature, or those type of career paths. If your child or anyone who's around you is say, hey, I want to be a plumber, I want to be an electrician, I want to be a train conductor, I want to be, whatever HVAC person, there is money to be made in these positions. I want to be a lineman. There is money to be made in these trade positions. They can go to a community college, get these licenses, and work. If that's what they choose to do, then encourage them to do that. Don't push these kids to go off into these business schools or these other doctor roles, lawyers, and things like that, if what they truly are good at is trade, because there's money to be made in trade. There really is. Tristan said, how you doing today? I'm doing well, Tristan. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. How are you doing, Tristan? Mighty said they need to learn too. Yeah, they do, Mighty, but you got to look at it too, that some people, they just don't have that education, being where they came from as well. Tristan said, what's up, souls? Penny said, that's crazy. You will have biased teachers that reserve A's for who they like. Now that is limited. My point exactly. I could bust my tail. I could earn my A. And then somebody who that teacher favors will get it over top of me. That's what I didn't like about Harvard. Mighty said, my daughter wants to be a veterinarian, so she needs school after 8th grade. I don't believe that in that nonsense. Education is a good thing, but you have to be well-rounded. I understand where you're coming from. Supermax says, so do we need it all? Parents are the realest of teachers. So said, need trade and early college adaptation for ones who want college. So Souls, let me ask you this. With your view, and this is good conversation, y'all. With your view, should from 8th grade on, instead of it being high school, should it be college prep or trade? Go to a college prep school that's based in business, that's based in literature, that's based in economics, that's based in law, that's based in your trade, where you have those trades as plumbing, electricians, linemen, automotive workers, construction workers. That way they can go straight from the college prep, the community college prep, or the trade school prep into the prep school when you get to the 12th grade, straight into the community college or the trade college that you need to go to earn those licensures to be certified in those trades. I would encourage anybody, honestly, that did not want to go to a 4-year institution, that only wanted to seek, a trade. By all means, there's money to be made in trades. I have a brother who was an electrician in the coal mines for a long time that made great money. My stepfather was an HVAC technician for these department stores and these grocery store chains, made excellent money. These plumbers that come to your house, these cable installer technicians, all, yes, some of them are contract workers, but they make decent money. They make a decent living out there. Contract construction workers, make a decent living out there, you know. Soul said, imagine if 9 to 12 was early college and Soul's me and you on the right page. I didn't even read your comment. Imagine if 9 to 12 was early college and you get associate degree. And if you want more, you go to one of those institutions. My thing right there. I didn't even read your comment. So Penny said, so instead of saying school after 8th grade is useless, say that specialized subject matter learning should begin after that point. Understood. But see, that's what my high school I went to. We still had those core classes like English, science, civics, mathematics, the algebra and all that good stuff. But we did have the business side. Like I ran through all the business classes in my high school. I took everything from accounting to computer programming to any business class that was up there. Trying to think what else I took. I can't remember. I took a customer service class that was actually a college class at the time, and I earned a college certificate at the time because customer service was real big back then. That's when the phone customer service was really picking up back then. But yeah, and we had nursing. I forget what that health. It was health. I forget exactly what it was, but that you got the health side that had nursing and whatnot, and hospital like administration classes. Then you had cosmetology classes. You had your science classes, your biology and stuff like that on that end. I went to a magnet school, a science technology, mathematics magnet school, and your girl got kicked out of the magnet program after the 9th grade because I was foolish. Only because I was foolish, not because I'm not smart, but I was foolish. But I still graduated with some accolades. So, but yeah, it should, to me, 9th through 12th grade should be specialized into whatever, and focus on more so on whatever career field you're going into, and get rid of most of those. Like after 9th grade, yes. Get you some core classes in there that you need specifically for the field that you're going into. But after 9th grade, everything should be like focused on career path. I feel as though that it should be like that. Supermax said, never forget, as a parent, you are teaching your actions. You are teaching your actions are the child's blueprint. I respect that. Soul said, colleges truly making money off of athletes. It's a multi-million-dollar business, right? Or billion. Penny said, in college prep, high schools, they begin electives and trades and specialized subject matter. Yeah, but not all high schools are like that, Penny. Some do, but not all. Penny said, I have had personal experience with teacher bias based on ethnicity and based on scholastic accomplishment. Yep. Maddie said, Soul said, Maddie got to get the whole view. We only get 200 characters, unfortunately. Yeah, this is a deeper discussion too. And so we can talk about this later or on Same Soil, or we can do it later on something on No Middleman, or maybe. Soul said, Rain, I put it in the chat already. You did. We were thinking alike, so we were thinking alike. Mighty said, my kids' school offers associate degree while they're going to school. You can become a veterinarian, veterinary tech, cosmetologist, realtor, dental assistant, etc., while in high school. Yeah, do all that. Penny said, trades are undervalued and underrated. Yes, they are. A lot of people look at, he's just a plumber, or he's just an HVAC technician, or he's just an electric, or she. When there is money out there to be made in those trades, especially if you're doing business for yourself and you're not letting somebody else pay you, and that'll be good too, to take some business classes so you can learn the ins and outs of managing a business and how to start a business. Superman said, unspecialized training beyond the 8th grade is indoctrination. Souls with the facts. Soul said, think about this. I retired at 38 off of a basic education. Only one test in Air Force I needed. Core skills, ASVAB. After that, all tests was career driven and was 6-figure earner. Military is a cheat. I would recommend too, if that child by the 8th or 9th grade did not have any, I'm gonna say any path to go on as far as what they want to do with their life, and it's really getting meek, and they're like, I don't know what I really want to do. Pick a branch, any branch. Mighty said close to need to give more space, and I can get my whole thought off in one. Yeah, I know, Mighty. Yeah, it's tough when you're trying to write in the chat. So said I was literally giving my degrees. Supermax said plug TV with the importance of the father. Salute. Definitely. Did I miss some chat, y'all? No, I don't see none. I don't see any. Penny said, so military is a cheat code, but it's also balanced by the sacrifice of life you see combat. And some industries don't respect military certifications as much as they should. Might have said YouTube needs to give me more space so I can get my whole thought out. Yes. Soul said, Penny, look at society. People dying on road rage. We saw that last night. And of course, I've been preaching it the whole day. If y'all did not watch Same Soil, Different Route last night because we were on super late, make sure y'all go back and watch it. That was a great episode. We touched on a lot of things. Penny said, Maddie, you better get them words out. Mighty says, so my daughter starts her veterinary and technician associates this year, and my son is starting his cosmetology. That's what you see. And it's a lot of money in both of those. It's a lot of money in both of those. Penny says, so I'm right there with you on the fact you can die in service or just living your life these days. Absolutely. Supermax said, teachers are people. Thinking they leave their biases at home is a setup for the okie doke. Penny said, not everyone is built for the military, though, and I think we would have to redesign education to get the child to think about what they want to be earlier. Yeah. I mean, I think, too, that comes from the encouragement of parents as well. And I think that's why you have some doctors who their parents are doctors, and some lawyers, their parents are lawyers. I think we pass down that mindset to our children as well. I think we have I would encourage our children to be individuals and do what makes you happy, what gives you satisfaction in that sense, do what makes you who you are. Because I will say this, when you find a career field or a job where you absolutely do not mind going to it every day, that's the cheat code in life. You might have some days where you get up and you're like, oh, I just want to stay at home today. Of course, we will have those days. But when you have a job where you absolutely do not mind being there, when you get there, that's the cheat code. That's the cheat code to life. When you find employment that, oh, I don't mind being here. That's the cheat code in life, especially if you don't have your own business, if you're not working for yourself, if you're not an entrepreneur and you do rely on somebody else to sign your paycheck to provide finances for your livelihood, then finding that career path or that place of employment where you do not mind being there for 8 hours out of your work, your day, then that's the cheat code to life. Penny said, and Rain, aren't you supposed to be asleep? I need me a nap. So bad. So bad. So said Penny, military is for everyone now. Trust me, since Obama, the military is easy cheat code and standards are low. Superman said, at Mighty, can't see your comments, but yeah, YouTube selective. She probably over on the vertical. I think Superman, mostly everybody is over on the vertical. So if you want to go over on the vertical, you can. Soul said, my parents went against it until they can see my first home, something they took decades to get. Military is all about sticking to a plan. Let me put I'll put the comments up for y'all in case y'all. Penny said yes, but the military chooses for you with those tests. Gun Show, appreciate you being here, Gun Show, living in your purpose. Penny said, laugh out loud, you're going to stop blaming President Obama for everything, so don't do my president like that. So says, you can cross-train once in. Penny, I did 3 career fields. Yeah, definitely. Penny said, nice. So, yeah, thank y'all for keeping the chat going while we were talking about this. Great conversation. So Tuskegee, we talked about Tuskegee, Michigan, and Harvard, right? Tuskegee says we're raising expectations for how students present themselves. Michigan says we're giving first semester freshmen room to adjust accordingly. Not if I'm paying for it, though. And Harvard says we're going to make the highest academic distinction harder to earn. 3 institutions, 3 completely different approaches, but they're all dealing with the same basic responsibility, preparing young adults for what comes next. I don't think preparation automatically has to mean making everything harder. You know, support does matter. Understanding students are adjusting matters. Mental health, of course, matters, but accountability matters too. And I don't think preparing young adults means moving every uncomfortable expectation from their path. There has to be some kind of balance in between. Of course, you got support and accountability. So between Michigan and Harvard, y'all can let me know in the chat. And if you're catching this on a rewatch, definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Which approach makes more sense to you? Giving freshmen room to adjust or making academic excellence harder to earn? And on Tuskegee, let me know if they are teaching professionalism or taking the dress standard too far. So now college administrators aren't the only ones changing recommendations. We're going to move over to Wellness Watch. The federal government made a major change this week that could directly affect conversations happening between parents and their pediatricians that are across the country. And whenever we're talking about children's health, I want to slow the conversation down just a little bit. Just explain what changed, what hasn't changed, and what parents need to understand. So let's move into Wellness Watch. Yeah, April. She's sleeping. So this week, the federal government's approach to childhood vaccines changed significantly. On August the 10th, President Trump signed an executive order establishing a new federal childhood vaccine recommendation. The administration approach places vaccines into different categories rather than recommending the exact same schedule universally for every child. Some vaccines remain broadly recommended. Others are being shifted toward higher risk populations or conversations between families and healthcare providers. The executive order also encourages childhood vaccines to be spread across separate medical visits when feasible, and it calls for eventually separating the combined MMR vaccine, that's the measles, mumps, and rubella, into individual vaccines once those products become available in the United States. So I'm gonna pull that clip up so we can listen to it. And y'all, Soft Rain is not prepared. I thought I was prepared, but I'm not. So hang on, y'all. There we go.
The Trump administration is.
Soft Rain is slipping. I got y'all. Let's listen in.
Moving to dramatically reshape the nation's childhood vaccine policy just weeks before students head back to school.
A new executive order reduces the number of vaccines recommended by the federal government for all children and encourages states to reconsider their own school vaccine requirements. Gino Vici explains what this could mean for Michigan families.
I spoke to medical experts about this new proposed guidance in terms of childhood vaccines and more about what parents need to know moving forward.
but the new recommendations do not have any evidence to show that what we're doing is ineffective or unsafe.
Lots of reaction in the medical community to President Donald Trump's new executive order referred to as the gold standard childhood vaccine recommendations. Dr. Francesca Wilson, a pediatrician with Henry Ford Hospital, says she believes the current vaccine schedule is very effective.
The vaccine schedule we currently have has been developed with lots of evidence, and it's given in a way that it protects children when they are most vulnerable.
So the guidelines really aren't going to mandate anything that you have to or not have to do.
The president's order creates 3 categories of childhood vaccines: those recommended for all children, those for certain high-risk groups, and those left to shared decision-making. But Dr. Ron Coutu, owner of ExpressMed Urgent Care, says the new federal guidance does not mean parents are being ordered to vaccinate or not to vaccinate their children. Rather, he says, it appears to be more about choice.
What it really does as an overall is to give you more religious liberty and more parental authority and choices in terms of the vaccines.
The order also encourages states to review school vaccine requirements and emphasizes religious exemptions and parental decision-making. And with families now facing different federal recommendations, Dr. Wilson says it's more important now than ever to consult with a healthcare professional.
Overall, what we need to do is have clear conversations with your doctor, with your pediatrician about what's best for your child.
Meanwhile, for Michigan parents, the important point right now is that school immunization recommendations still remain in place unless anything has changed at the state level. In Rochester Hills, Gino BG, CBS News, Detroit.
All right, y'all. Well, listen. Oh, no, that's too long. I was gonna say we're gonna listen to this, but it's too long. So, give me your thoughts on this. What y'all think about the new vaccine recommendations when it comes to what they want to do now? So, those separate measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines are not currently available as individually licensed in the United States. Right now, it's combined together, and that's the only available option right now. Manufacturers have indicated that developing, testing, licensing, and producing new individual versions could take years. And major medical organizations have pushed back against parts of the administration's new approach. Pediatric and public health organizations argue that existing vaccination schedules are based on decades of evidence. And they also warn that spreading vaccines across additional appointments could mean some children receive protection later or potentially don't complete all of those appointments. And all of this is happening while the United States is experiencing a significant increase in measles cases. So as of August 13th, the CDC had reported 2,566 confirmed measles cases in the United States this year alone. A large majority of those cases have been associated with outbreaks, and that's already more cases than the United States reported in all of 2025. So I don't want it. We're not going to talk about pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine because, that's not useful. Parents need information. Parents need to know what actually changed. They need to understand what didn't change. And if the federal government or major medical organizations and your child pediatrician are giving you information that sounds different, make sure y'all ask questions. Ask why something is being recommended. Ask about the benefits, the risks, the time, and all that stuff. Okay. So I'm going to get to the chat. Oh, y'all. Hey, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. Superman said, "Oh, badness doesn't know how to do that. Turned 54 years old yesterday. 54 yesterday. Happy birthday, whoever turned 54 yesterday." Penny said, "Appearance matters too." Gun Show said, "Give them time to adjust." Soul said, "I thought the show was done." Laugh out loud. No, Soul, we got one more segment after this. Soul said, "Gunshot, what's good?" Penny laughing at Souls. Penny said, "Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Please make sure y'all like and subscribe." Soul said, "Put my speed back up on Peloton." Penny said, President Trump decided we don't need no vax for school." Gun Show said, "What's up, Soul?" And Soul said, "Chilling, man. We was up late." Yeah, we was up late last night. Penny said, "Soul's got that Lance Armstrong going on. Do we need to test you, Souls?" And I said, "No, so we still got to talk about them Cowboys. We got one more segment, y'all. Gun Show said, "Heck yeah, y'all doing it again tonight." Actually, Gun Show, Souls and Uncle Plug, they have 1181. It's a sports show that will be on not too long after me. I think they're going about 8 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you go over to the Raw Society Network. And I'll drop those links in the chat in just a little bit, y'all. And go over there or go over to Souls of Thought, his page, or you seen Uncle Plug in the chat, or you can go to his page as well. They'll be live on all 3 pages doing their sports show. 1181 Pressure Plays. It's the best sports show on earth. So make sure y'all go over there and see them later on this evening. So said Penny, it's actually a positive for parents of special needs children. It's some vaccines that held back services for some. Oh, yeah. So you know what? We can talk about that too. Mighty said, y'all need to leave my Cowboys alone now. So said Maddie, we win in the Super Bowl. We about to talk about it in a minute. Penny said we should have been getting recommendations from a medical provider anyways. Penny said, I thought it was more of a baseline before. So said facts. So says it was until that white substance came through the mail in early 2000s. I got you, souls. Superman, y'all say the Cowboy conversation. Save it, y'all. Superman said Cowboys died when they stopped the history of blackness. Sorry, souls. I'm knowing how much Shreve Oyster loved them. Penny said that and in Michigan. Might have said leave the vaccines the way they are. Superman said, sorry, so Shreve Boyser got nothing but love for Dallas. Y'all hold off on that. Penny said, I'm with Maddie, except in cases of special needs and medical sensitive kids. Definitely. So said, no, I'm not trying to cause friction, just adding to. Superman said, but the Cowboys when they denied their black history. All right, y'all. So, I don't know how I feel about this too much. I know that some vaccines are needed to help prevent the spread of certain diseases, especially like with the measles and whatnot. I haven't dived deep into the after effects of some vaccines. So I know some people out there who are religiously against it. Some people out there who are against it because of different studies being done. I do know that we need to, just like we have a personal, your health, and I've preached this before on No Middleman on my show, or anytime we talk about health, your personal health is personable to you. So if you ever come across a medical personnel who does not treat your health care journey or history or anything that you got going on with your health as personable to you, they're not doing what you need to do. You need to speak out and find you another healthcare professional that will be there for you, because it's personal to you. It is you. That's who you are. So, social media should not be your child's pediatrician, and neither should somebody sitting behind the microphone, including me. So y'all make sure y'all do your own due diligence, do your own research on this. And let me know down in the comments section if you're catching this on the rewatch. When health recommendations change, what information do you need before you feel comfortable making a decision for your child? I'm gonna get to some of these comments right quick, and then we're gonna move on to the last segment where we're gonna talk about these Cowboys for a few minutes. So says Superman, we love them boys. We closer to Texas than New Orleans. Superman said, mine not getting vaxxed, period. Penny said, and chickenpox. Right, Penny, Gunshow said, no lie, fasting heals the body. Absolutely. I agree, Gunshow. Whenever we're ill, and a lot of people don't notice this, but whenever we're ill, the first thing happens is we lose our appetite. That is our body's natural way of telling us to fast. Our body's natural way of telling us, hey, don't put nothing else in me. Let me repair myself first. Now, I understand that we need nutrition in order to heal as well. But Don't be doing no extra. Make sure you stay hot. I'm not saying not to put anything in your body at all, but make sure you're doing your hydration. Make sure you're getting some nutrients in while you're going through the healing process. But naturally, when you come down with the flu or a cold or some kind of intestinal illness or some kind of infection you may be going through, you don't have an appetite. Naturally, you don't have an appetite. So that's nature's way of telling you don't eat fast. But in doing so, make sure you stay hydrated as well. So that's just my personal opinion. I'm not giving medical advice. So Penny said they need a shot for the lice for them fair-skinned kids that don't take showers. Listen, I had a friend, speaking on this, I had a friend back in the day. She had kids, and actually she was Hispanic, but Hispanic and white folks that tend to have the same hair textures. Her daughter ended up having them. And I was so mad that she cut that baby's hair all off. Because there's treatments, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that she wanted to do the work to treat the hair. But yeah. And you know what? Every time, I'm going to tell you this, because y'all know my son, well, for those of you who don't know, but my son is biracial. And he has black hair. He has black hair, Afro hair texture. I'm going to say it like that, okay? Those times in the last couple of years that we've gotten those letters home saying, hey, we've had an outbreak of lice in the school. I've been thankful that his hair is short. He likes his haircuts. He is real. He's got to get his haircuts, y'all. Every 2 weeks, he sits in that barber's chair. He don't play about. Listen, he's only had 2 barbers the whole while he's been here on this earth, and the only reason why he changed barbers is because the other barber moved out of town and he hasn't been back. His first initial barber moved out of town. So he's serious about his cuts. And I'm so thankful that he has that Afro hair texture. It's not 4C, but it's curly, and then we have to keep it moisturized and whatnot. So y'all, I'm thankful that he had, that he didn't get those lice as well. So Superman said, naturally telling you no more garbage, please. Yes, basically that's what your body's telling you. Don't put nothing else in me. Gunshow said, haven't had the flu nor fever for over 30 years. That's what I'm talking about, Gunshow. Staying healthy. Penny said, Rain, you better put oil in your hair. I have to put a little something in there. It be dry. I moisturize my hair, but us YT people, we can't put oil in, because if we do, then we have to keep the oil away from it for the most part. And in your baby hair now, yeah, we keep it moisturized. Superman said, Penny, no washcloth or red flag. No, we use washcloths around here too. Mighty said, Gracie's kids' hands. Superman said, 333, livest chat for real. Y'all cheer me up when I don't even know I'm down. Penny said, lights don't mess with hair with oil in it. Yeah, they don't. I don't think they can't attach to it. Maddie said, grease your children's scalps. Absolutely. I agree, y'all. So we went on from vaccines to lights. So I appreciate y'all being here for that conversation. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and if you're catching this on the rewatch, make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comment section. And then we're going to get over to our last segment after I read Supermax chat. It says the anti-oil science is crazy for real. Yeah. So, and from one issue affecting parents and children nationwide, we're bringing it right back home to, oh no, I got 2 more segments for y'all. Y'all, wait a minute. Dang. I thought I had 1 more segment. I got 2 more segments for y'all. So we're going to make it quick. So this is Hometown Rain, y'all. I'm going to pull this up. Let's see. Hometown rain, y'all. Now, I actually should have did this before the wellness, so I got it out of order, but it's okay. So on Friday, multiple schools in Jackson County, Georgia, received automated threats. Law enforcement responded to 6 schools, bringing in deputies and explosive detection dogs to search the buildings. But no explosive devices were ultimately found. But the response took long enough that Jackson County schools canceled classes for that day. A similar threat was reported in Cherokee Bluff High School in Hall County. Students there were evacuated while the building was searched and before eventually being allowed back inside. Investigators believe the threats may have been generated using AI, artificial intelligence, and may have been originated from outside of the counties, and state and federal agencies have become involved in the investigation. So let me pull up that video and then we're going to move forward. Hold on a second. YouTube has changed some format that I am not used to, y'all. Hold on. Let's see. We'll listen to this one.
In North Georgia, Hall County says it was forced to evacuate students at Cherokee Bluff High School this morning, and Jackson County decided to play it safe by canceling school district-wide. 11 Alive's Grace King shows us what we've learned so far.
In Jackson County, the threats began before dawn.
It does appear like it's an AI-generated robo-type call, but the specifics of it we're working on right now.
6 of the district's 12 schools received messages of possible bomb threats, which put the district on high alert.
Law enforcement worked with their partner organizations, and a number of different county officials and city officials came to help, brought bomb dogs, brought other resources into our community to help search those schools.
With such a large footprint to clear, the district decided it was safer to cancel classes for the day. The sweeps took nearly 5 hours.
A lot of manpower, a lot of resources. That's why these type calls, as aggravating as they and disruptive as they can be to a community and the school system and to first responders in general, you just have to take them serious. And we dedicate all the resources we can to do that.
The same type of threats also hit Hall County. At Cherokee Bluff High School, students and staff moved to the stadium while law enforcement searched the building.
We've just been cleared by law enforcement to bring students back in. And as a matter of fact, here come the first of those students and faculty members right now.
The district say state and federal authorities are helping them track down the origins of those calls. They hope those responsible will be held accountable.
There's a lot of kids that wanted to be in school today. There's a lot of teachers that want to be teaching today. There's a lot of principals that want to be leading. And it's really sad and unfortunate in society that we have to deal with situations like that. And it's really infuriating.
In Jackson County, Grace King.
So what do y'all think about that? I know there's another video. Let me see. I got another video in here too that I looked at. Let me see if this says anything different.
Districts had their day disrupted with bomb threats made by a computer or AI. The threats were made at all these schools in Hall and Jackson counties. We first brought the story to you as breaking news on Channel 2 Action News this morning. Channel 2 Steve Gelbach is at the school where the first threat was discovered.
The district got the all clear here at Gum Springs Elementary and a half dozen schools around the county around mid-morning, and nothing was found. Deputies and officers, including multiple K-9 teams from surrounding areas, converged on Jackson County schools. The first threat was discovered by a staff member at one school around 4:30 Friday morning, checking the office voicemail.
Something like an AI-generated call with a particular type threat. From there, our technology department did a search to see if other schools in our district had received a similar message. And in total, 6 of our schools received this message.
We saw bomb sniffing.
Wait a minute. Okay, so see, you get different reports from different news outlets. So they said that the report went out at 4:30, or they received the voicemail at 4:30, right? So in doing so in the morning, and the teacher was in there checking the voicemail. So did they check the voice? Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I got to roll it back.
Message, and in total, 6 of our a similar message threat. From there, our voicemail, something like a
first threat was discovered by a staff member at one school around 4:30 Friday morning, checking the office voicemail.
So the staff member was there at 4:30 checking the voicemail, and it was discovered then. So my thing is, if this was checked at 4:30 that morning, then why did those students go to school? Okay, now, let me finish listening. Maybe I jumped the gun. Hold on.
Something like an AI generated call with a particular type threat. From there, our technology department did a search to see if other schools in our district had received a similar message. And in total, 6 of our schools received this message.
We saw bomb-sniffing dogs at Heroes Elementary School, then at the nearby middle school and Jackson County High School.
There's a lot of resources. When we got traffic control, we got to shut down access to the things, but we have multiple agencies bring in their bomb detection dogs.
Because of the massive effort to sweep and clear each campus, the district delayed, then canceled entirely classes for the entire day.
Oh, they did. Okay, so that was different than the other one. So they did delay and then cancel the classes. So my
really sad and unfortunate in society that we have to deal with situations like that. And it's really infuriating because there's a lot of people that wanted to have a normal day.
The sheriff says they're actively investigating who made the threats, that they can trace the calls using help from state and federal partners. If caught, the person responsible could face the charge of making terroristic threats, and under Georgia law, it's a misdemeanor, but could rise to a felony if there is a threat of death. In Jackson County, Steve Gelbach, Channel 2 Action News.
Another Metro Atlanta school also got a bomb threat. This one was at Cherokee Bluff High School. Hall County Sheriff's deputies, along with explosive detective canines, went to the school to investigate. No explosive devices were found there.
Right now. Okay, so that was like a more detail of what happened in the other county. Yeah, so I'm thankful that they were able to delay and then put, cancel the classes in case something did go down. So. Penny said, Rain, we just looking out for you. Yeah. Superman said, I'm here for the duration. Let it rain. Appreciate you, Superman. Soul said, all schools will be virtual by 2027. You think so, Souls? You've said that before. Gun Show said, I don't think it's real. I think it's just for a drill. He said, you never hear a bomb going off in a school. It's been, yeah. Soul said, facts, Gun, they all will be remote once teachers refuse to come back. Yeah, they have a hard time keeping teachers now. Supermax said $20K a year for private schools, and we don't trust them. Parenting requires sacrifices. No spaces for me till I can regulate these new expenses. All respect for the Raw Society Network. Thank you. Thank you, Superman. Gunshow said, what staff goes to school at 4:30 a.m. other than the janitor? It just depends on what time they start too. I know some elementary schools, they open their doors. Well, locally here where I'm at, elementary schools open their door at 7. So I'm assuming that janitors or cafeteria staff may need to come in. If it's 7, they start serving breakfast at 7:15. What, an hour and a half? So 5:45-ish. 5:30-ish, they would need to be in the school to start their breakfast. I'm not for certain how that goes. Superman said that's Super Chat's autocorrect hates me, and yes, we in ATL. All right then. Yeah, so I don't every day as a parent, I get reasons to homeschool my child, but unfortunately, my child, fortunately, does not want to be homeschooled. I asked, if it comes down to it, and we have to. But I did speak with my child about homeschool. And he said, "No, mommy, I want to go to school." He actually enjoys school. So this threat may have been fake, but law enforcement doesn't have the luxury of assuming that they can't hear that, hey, this sounds like AI, or say, okay, never mind. They have to respond to it as soon as somebody could actually be in danger. Think about everything that was disrupted: students, parents, teachers, those parents who needed to go to work that day, classes, law enforcement taking their resources from different areas, K-9 units, administrators, emergency management resources, all because somebody may now be able to use technology to create something believable enough to trigger a massive response. And this is a side of artificial intelligence that deserves a much bigger conversation. We spent years asking, can AI write an essay? Can AI do homework? Can AI make a picture? But AI can also mimic voices as well, generate realistic messages, impersonate people, create convincing images and videos. We've seen that. We've discussed that here on the Raw Society Network, No Middleman, all that. and potentially allow someone to create widespread fear without ever entering the place that they're targeting. The threat may be fake, but the fear is real. The evacuation is real. The lost school day, they lost a school day. They're going to have to make that up. Police response is real. Allocating those resources, something else could have went down. And they could have been redirecting or what do you call it? What's the word? Y'all know my brain ain't working right now too much. They could have been not redirecting. What's the word, y'all? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Causing a deflection. Is it deflection, y'all? Where they could have been doing something else elsewhere, doing a crime elsewhere, and they caused this for all the emergency response to go here. What's that called, y'all? Diversion. There it is. There it is. Those listening, diversion. A diversion. They could have caused a diversion of something else could have been going on elsewhere. Now you have all these law enforcement resources here over at the schools, making sure the schools are all right. So that could have been going on as well, you know. Superman says school food is scary. Yes, it is. It is. Mighty said, COVID taught me that homeschool is not for me and mine. I understand. So said, lack of fathers make us have to put our kids into these environments. So said, women having to work. School is the new daycare. I understand. So Superman said, asking is momming. Back to Plug TV. The father presence critical. When we said diversion. Yep, diversion. Gunshow said the best drill is a live drill. So said Rain is a college graduate. I am. I do have an associate's. And I have a couple certifications up under my belt too. So said C school is a game. Laugh out loud, man. All right. So I think in my old age too, and my brain is and a lot of assuming, Jesus, April, y'all, rain. Ooh, I'm just gonna say I'm tired tonight, y'all. That's all. So I was laughing at me. So I got you. I'm in 10 group 2, right? I'm telling you, souls. I'm telling you, it's I'm in the group. Yeah, where you get it, souls? We college graduates. But yeah, y'all. So I don't know. We just got to make sure that we pray every day for our students that's going out here in public to these private and public schools. Whenever we pray that whenever our kids are not in our eyesight, that whomever is around them can protect them and God can cover them and make sure that they come back home to us every day because we know what's been in the news. So Super Matt said most indoctrination, be careful of a proper education. All right, Matt. So I want to transition to my last topic of the night, to sports. So we're going to move on over to the sports segment right quick. And so you owe me. So you said you was going to help me with my segment because you said it could be better. I'm gonna need your help with that. So my segment, thingy. What do you call them things? You know what I'm talking about. The segment introducer thing. So you said you're gonna help me out with that. So of course we have covered some heavy ground today. School safety, college standards, children's health, artificial intelligence. So I think we deserve to finish with something that we can argue about, laugh about, and hopefully still be friends when the stream ends. And I already know one particular fan base is about to get mad at me, maybe. But this fan base, y'all know who y'all got. Okay, the Cowboys fans. So come on in. It's time for sports. So the Dallas Cowboys, I ran across this article. The Dallas Cowboys are now valued at approximately $15.5 billion. That's with a B, $15.5 billion. And according to the latest NFL franchise valuations, Dallas remains the most valuable team in the league, right? Their estimated value increased approximately 21% in 1 year. So I'm not trying to cause no trouble, but the Dallas Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl since January the 28th, 1996. 30 years, 30. And somehow their value just keeps going up. So I read an article about this, and I looked for a video, and I didn't want to get copyrighted, y'all. So I found this one video, and we're just gonna listen in a little bit. And then Souls, I see y'all already going in the chat. Souls and Mighty, any Cowboy fan can go in on the chat if you want to. I'm not here. I'm here just to talk about the dollar signs, okay? And we're gonna go over some of the top 10 most valuable NFL teams before I get up out of here. So let me pull up that. I'm gonna pull up that video right quick.
Let that sink in for a second. That makes them the single most valuable sports team on the entire planet. Real Madrid, behind them. The New York Yankees, not even close. But here's the absolute crazy part. Back in 1989, this exact same team was losing over $1 million every single month. They were dead broke, bleeding cash, and heading straight for bankruptcy. So how on earth did a dying football franchise turn into a $15 billion gold mine? Enter Jerry Jones. In 1989, this crazy Texas oil man drops $140 million to buy the Cowboys. Everyone in the sports world thought he completely lost his mind. I mean, paying that much for a team that was losing $1 million a month? It sounded like commercial suicide, but Jerry didn't care. Right off the bat, he pulls off the most legendary trade in NFL history, the Herschel Walker trade. He flipped one star player for a mountain of draft picks, completely rebuilt the roster, and boom, the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. The team was unstoppable on the field, but Jerry was just getting started with his real master plan. See, back then, the NFL had a strict rule. All 32 teams had to split their merch sales and big sponsorship deals equally. Every team got the same slice of the pie. But Jerry Jones hated that setup. He wanted the whole pie for himself. So in 1995, Jerry went rogue. He bypassed the league entirely and signed massive exclusive stadium deals with Nike and Pepsi. The NFL was furious. They literally sued Jerry for $300 million. But Jerry didn't back down. He countersued them right back for $750 million. In the end, the NFL folded. They settled, and Dallas became the only team in the entire league allowed to sell its own merch and keep 100% of its local sponsor money. That single move changed sports business forever. Fast forward to 2009. Jerry drops another $1.2 billion to build AT&T Stadium, or as everyone calls it, Jerry World. This wasn't just a football stadium, it was a luxury money printing machine. With ultra-expensive VIP suites and massive corporate sponsors lining up, the Cowboys started making over $300 million a year just from stadium revenue alone. That's almost double what most NFL teams pull in. Today, Jerry's original $140 million gamble has ballooned into a staggering $15.5 billion empire. And here's the ultimate punchline. The Dallas Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. They've been choked in the playoffs for 3 decades, yet they keep getting richer every single year. Jerry Jones proved that in modern sports, you don't even need to win titles to win the money game. Drop a comment below. Are the Cowboys brilliant or just plain lucky?
All right, y'all. Shout out to this. I'm gonna hit subscribe since I use their stuff, but Evolve Score. They got a few videos on their page. Numbers, rankings, and history told through data. So shout out to them. They got a few videos on their page. I wanted to use their content. Appreciate y'all letting me use your content. But yeah, y'all. So what y'all think about these Dallas Cowboys? I know I was going to get a lot of comments on this because we got Souls in the chat who is a Dallas Cowboy fan. And I am a Ravens girl. I love my Ravens. Transitioning template. Thank you, Souls. Thank you, Souls. Souls with the smoke respect. So said we rich and Gun Show is laughing. Mighty said, but they have the support because they got true fans. Definitely. I do. Dallas Cowboys, they have their fans, their loyalty fans. They really do. So said, how many Ravens got? We didn't even make the top 10. So we didn't make the top 10. I'm gonna pull that up in just a minute. Supermax said, wow, loyalty makes me stay. I ain't effing with no Cowboys. My bad souls. Gunshow said, I can't laugh. My team been on strut for years. So said Gun, all teams transition. Seahawks just won, yeah. Gunshow said, man, souls, my team can't never get it going. Oh, man. Gunshow said, Rain it. No, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not. So said, you ain't even saying their name. So said, Rain is a Raven. I am a Raven. Superman said, $1 billion white endowment will afford you a whole lot of flexibility. Just saying. Gunshow says, Souls is the Browns. Oh, man. So said, you got my boy a Shador. Gunshow said, yeah, we need more than him, though. Soul said, I lived in Warren, Ohio, 5 years. Recruiter. I love Ohio. Time. Welcome in, Time. It's good to see you in here. He said, really, the Cowboys? I had woken up by the Lord and the sound of my phone, the soft rain, to hear about Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. One great thing, my notification bell is working. Thank you, Time. Superman said, I'm saying 10 billion of that value comes from guys like you, souls. Soul said, the rich get richer. Penny said, laugh out loud this. Supermax said, that's hate, Rain, you good. Mighty said, blue and silver all day. Let's go, Cowboys. Penny said, go Bears. But yeah, y'all, I wanted to show y'all this too. So this is according. Oh, I need to move my thing so y'all can see it. Hold on, maybe if I do it like this. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So the top 10 most valuable NFL teams. Dallas comes in at number 1 at $15.5 billion. Let me move this off there. Los Angeles comes in at number 2 at $12.7 billion. New York Giants come in at $12 billion. New England Patriots at $10 billion, 10.4. The New York Jets at number 5 at $10.35 billion. The Eagles coming in at number 6 at $10.31 billion. The Dolphins coming in at number 7 at $10.25. The 49ers coming in at 8 with $10.21 billion. The Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders coming in at number 9 at $10.10 billion. And the Falcons, which is local to my area, is coming in at number 10 at $9.78 billion. So let me see. I didn't ask this, but let me see where my Ravens come in at. Where on the NFL most? Let's see. Let me see, y'all. Soul said, baby mama, get my tickets for free. Time said, the Dallas Cowboys fan base is the biggest thing in the world. They might be bigger than the Yankees fan base. Penny said, Soul's trying to get a sugar mama. Soul said, no. Penny said, the NFL plantation mindset is crazy, though. Ooh, so on the new 2026 Sportico NFL evaluation list released on August the 12th, the Baltimore Ravens ranked 24 out of 32 NFL teams valued at approximately $8.2 billion. But that's a 37% jump from their roughly $6 billion valuation in 2025. So, yeah. That's interesting because they're very successful on the field, but relatively low on the valuation list. Yeah. So yeah. So says she works there as Brian Box during the season. Oh, okay. Supermax said richer than the winning Eastern team in baseball. Oh, I got you. Penny said Jerry got that paper buying and selling them assets. Soul says same as their quarterback. Penny said 90s Cowboys was the best though. And they were. I remember, I think it was, well, y'all know my age. I'm in my early 40s. But I remember when they went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl in 96. So said trash Jackson. Souls, now come on now. I didn't down talk the Cowboys. Come on now. Where the Browns rank right? Let's ask. Let me see. Hold on, we gonna ask Marcel. Marcel, y'all, I don't think I ever said this out loud on one of the streams, but Marcel is my chat name, my chat GPT name, Marcel. He said, absolutely, I'll give you the full list. Hold on. The 2026 ranking. So y'all hold on. Souls laugh out loud. Gun said don't laugh. We're gonna see. Commanders made 11. See, I'm gonna go through in order. 11 Commanders, 12 Seahawks, 13 Texans. You know what? I can pull this up on the screen, y'all, so y'all can see it on the screen. Share screen. Let's see. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see it though. Hold on. Add the stage. Ooh, let me see if I can make it bigger. How do I make it bigger? There we go. Yeah, hold on. Can y'all see it? Y'all see it all right? So, Commanders, Seahawks, Texans, Bears made it 14. You said, no, it's not Bears, is it? You said the Browns. Where the Browns rank? Broncos, Chiefs, Steelers, Buccaneers is number 18. Where Plug at? Plug. Chargers, Titans, Browns came in at number 21. 21. And there's not much difference between some of these because you got 8.74, 70, 0.68, 0.65, 0.62, 0.60, 0.59. So some of these there's not much. Let's see, the Bengals. The Bengals are the last on the list. So I see. So birds of a feather fell together. Ravens. Okay. So Marty said, I have been a fan of the Cowboys since the early 90s, and then we won the Super Bowl in 96. I was right there screaming and stance. Penny said, yo, Al is black. Superman said, all you can do is remember they trash. I said it. My bad souls and all Norfolk, Louisiana. So said, yeah, Penny, she's biased. Penny said, it'd be like, no, Rain, you tripping. Browns at the bottom. Penny laughing. Gunshow said, dang, Penny. So said, remember, Browns and Baltimore are the same technically. Gunshow said, 21, I've been a Browns fan since the 80s. So said, when they bought expansion Ravens. Okay. Penny said, shots fired. Y'all know stuff be going on in my head sometimes. Yeah, y'all. So I knew this would get the conversation going. I knew it would, but you know, it goes to show you though that it goes to show you that business is business. You know, Jerry, he knows what he's doing business wise. He's still making, even though they're not going to the Super Bowl, winning, they're not winning Super Bowls. Even though they're not winning Super Bowls, they're still making money. You know what I'm saying? So how about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? So sports question before y'all leave tonight. Would you rather have the most valuable team in football or a team that actually wins championships? And I'm not being salty when it comes to that. Cowboys fans, but y'all make sure y'all go ahead and weigh in. Let me know. Would y'all rather have a championship or money? Penny said Brown ain't won since the 80s. Super Mac. I get it. Penny said Jerry got that generational money mindset. Hey, he doing what he need to do for the franchise. He doing what he need to do for the franchise. So, hey, Gunso said he'd rather have a team that wins championships. Penny said wins championships, please, because an expensive losing jersey ain't it. Ooh. I see what you're saying. So, believe it or not, even that Cowboys conversation brings us right back to where we started today. We started with what? Standards. Because whether we're talking about schools, colleges, healthcare, technology, or football, somebody has to decide what success looks like. So before we get out of here, let's bring everything together. So let me take this down and we're going to get this last little bit rolling. I'll move this out of the way and put me back up there. Yeah, I appreciate y'all sticking with me. I am over the 300 before I close out, y'all. I am over the 300 mark when it comes to subscribers. If you're new in here, like Gun Show, I know you're new. I appreciate you coming and joining me today. Share me to somebody who you might think this is a good conversation for them, or who you might think might like the content. I bring something new every week. I try to when it comes to the news and what's going on around the country and around the world. So make sure you do that. And Gun Show, I don't know if you did it, but make sure you go over to the Raw Society Network, and follow us there as well. We have right now we have 4 shows on that channel that we do every week. Let's see. And I'm cooking up something too, something different for y'all too. So when I get that up and going and on the way, I sure will let y'all know. I'm trying to get it all together. Let me see the channel. I'm gonna bring up the channel right quick so y'all can see it. So this is the Raw Society Network. On this, matter of fact, I can pull up the graphic from here and let me find the post. There it is. Boom, right there. We have 4 shows right now on the Raw Society Network where you will find me, Uncle Plug, you saw him in the chat, and Souls of Thought. We have No Middleman that usually goes on Monday and Tuesday nights, but since football is starting, we're going to adjust that to Tuesday, possibly Wednesday night. So y'all keep a watch for that. So Monday night on Gun Show, make sure you come back for the No Middleman, and we'll be live. We won't be live on my channel, but we'll be live on the Raw Society Network channel and Souls of Thought channel. 1181 Pressure Plays is right after this show here. You can go check them out tonight. That's Souls and Uncle Plug. They will be over on the Raw Society Network channel and their channels as well, giving y'all that's the best sports show on earth. They will be there probably in about an hour and a half. Then you can catch me and Souls on Same Soil, Different Roots on this network here. We have different conversations from relationships to society to everything that's going on in the world. We have talked about Nolan Wells. We have talked about these shootings and unalivings. We've talked about relationships, just giving you different perspectives. And then we also have a show called Playback and Perspective where we went over where we do reviews of movies and show series. We recently did The Polygamist. So if you want to go back and check that out as well. And our next one is going to be The Princess of the Row, which was scheduled for tonight, but we've had to move it. We've had to do some moving around. So make sure you come back and check on Wednesday to do that show, Playback and Perspective. So y'all make sure y'all go over to the Raw Society Network, subscribe there as well. Y'all can catch me live all week, just about on that channel as well as my channel. So I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to get to some more of these comments right quick and make sure y'all go check out, especially in an hour and a half for that sports show, 1181 Pressure Plays. So I'm going to get to some of these comments and then I'm going to wrap up. Gunshow said, hold on, what Penny team is? I don't think he said. Supermax said, Rain, you're knowing what's up. Penny said, Bears loud and proud all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Gunshow said, sorry to hear that, Penny. Penny is laughing. Supermax said, you up sharing as usual. Let it rain. Appreciate you, Supermax. Penny said, like and subscribe, especially the Cowgirl fan. Make sure y'all subscribe too. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm hoping to bring y'all some more Ravens content too once football gets started rolling. Gunshow said, I already subscribed, so she called me out. SBK, welcome in, SBK. Appreciate you being here. He has some great content on his channel as well. Y'all go check him out. I like watching his channel. He said, hey to the chat. Gunshow said, yeah, I'll take a nap before I get on there. Y'all be on there until 4 a.m. No, they won't be on there late tonight. We were up. We were up late last night. We usually don't go that late, but last night we did. Penny said it's normally not that late, right? It's normally not. So Time said, well, that's all. Fly like those Ravens. Go New England Patriots. Yeah, football season is coming up, y'all. Football season is coming up. Mighty said, great show. Love the topics. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, we had some great conversation today. I appreciate the chat too. All of y'all that were in here, Little Penny Souls, Gun Show, SBK stopped by, Super Mac, Time was in here, Uncle Plug was in here, Mighty was in here. If I forgot anybody, I am so sorry. But y'all kept the chat lit tonight, and I really appreciate that. So when I look at everything we covered today, one word keeps coming up. We talked about standards for safety in our schools, standards for how colleges prepare students for the real world, standards for the information parents receive when making health decisions, and standards for how we respond when technology is used to create fear and disruption. I'm sorry, y'all. And even in sports, standards for how we define success. Shout out to Jerry Jones, Cowboys. These stories may look completely different on the surface, but they all remind us that the expectations we set, the decisions we make, they have real consequences. And that's why I bring y'all the Weekly Brain Report. It's more than just the headlines. It's about what's understanding and everything that's happening. So looking beyond that first reaction, hearing different perspectives, and making room for informed conversations. Make sure if y'all enjoyed tonight's show, hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you haven't already done so, make sure you share the conversation with somebody who might have a completely different perspective as well. And if you're catching it on the rewatch, make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comment section. I appreciate y'all spending y'all Sunday evening with me. Make sure y'all go check out 1181 Pressure Plays. And as a matter of fact, I'll do y'all a quick favor. Let me see if they got it up yet. So y'all got it up yet to roll tonight? Yeah, here it is. They're gonna be talking about Jaden Daniels sends LSU a cease and desist, plus who wins each NFL division. All right then, y'all. I'm gonna drop that link in there. Here's the link for that. Y'all make sure y'all go check them out. They're gonna be talking about like I said, Jaden Daniels sending LSU a cease and desist letter, plus who wins each NFL division. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, y'all. So I appreciate you again. I appreciate y'all being here with me tonight. I will see y'all next time on the Weekly Brain Report. Y'all have a good one.
Soft rain. Real talk, no filter, no disguise. Every headline, I'm breaking it live. From the streets to the pressure up top. We see it all, yeah, we connect the dots. Weekly rain, yeah, we run it down. Truth hit different when it wear a crown. No fluff, no cap, just facts in sight. Welcome to the weekly rain report. Let's get into it tonight.